Ooh, alright. So, I went to Hong Kong. I landed in Hong Kong in the morning and the first thing that I saw was that everyone looked like they're always in a rush. And me? I was just trying to find a working toilet and take a shit. And let me tell you, the airport, legit nice. I heard it was one of the busiest in Asia, but somehow feels smooth and spacious. I went straight to the station and took the train to the city, and the first thing that came to my mind was dumplings. Because they make good dumplings. Then we arrived in the city, and when I looked up, I got instantly humbled by a skyscraper. So tall it could probably broadcast my insecurities in 4K. Had a bit of a walk to the hotel, and I stayed in Dorset. I decided to rest for a bit because I felt sluggish after the trip. When I got into the room, I was quite surprised with the size of the room. The room was pretty compact. 2 single beds, one for me and one for my emotional baggage.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
And it has everything in this one small room. Shower, TV, water heater, you name it. Anyway, I decided to go for a food run. When I stepped out from the hotel, the city was already alive. People everywhere, voice overlapping, scooters weaving through like it's a multiplayer game. They move fast, talk loud, and they will bump into you without looking back. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, the very first thing I heard wasn't hello or how's it going. It was just this one single phrase that I heard every 30 seconds I walked. Anyway, that was the welcome committee. Let's move on to the food. Dumplings. Dumplings in Hong Kong are just food. They're part of the city's identity. It's not a trip if you didn't burn your mouth and soup dumplings or get emotionally attached to a pan-fried one. The food here is one of the best cuisines I've had in a long time. Even when the customer service feels like a punch to the soul, the food hits every time. But yeah, they're loud as hell. Holy shit. I was just trying to eat quietly and then suddenly the staff were yelling at each other across the restaurant like it was a family reunion gone wrong.
Go on.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, the dumplings here were truly exceptional. Crispy at the bottom, juicy at the middle, and some spicy shit on top. When you bite into one, suddenly the yelling fades away. You're literally floating. Holy shit, sensational. Shout out to the aunties in the kitchen. They might yell at me like I owe them 6 months of rent overdue, but they're cooking good. Then we head off for another walk, this time to the place called Kowloon Station. Or is it Kowloon?
Kowloon.
Anyway, Kowloon Station is massive. We've got designer shops, restaurants, luxury, everything. And then boom, there's a literal high-speed train terminal underneath. And that's the wildest part. From here, you can take the train straight to Guangzhou. And here's the kicker. The whole thing is also connected to the ICC, also known as the International Commerce Center. It's known for the tallest building in Hong Kong. And oh boy, I love me some skyscrapers. So I decided to go all the way up and indulge myself in the view. We entered the ICC and made our way to the 118th floor to a place called Ozone, the highest bar in the world. Let me say that again. The highest bar in the world. It's inside the Ritz-Carlton and so fancy it makes your wallet cry on the inside. Bro, I don't even want to know how much the drinks are, but I had to look at it. When I looked at the price, that's too crazy, bro. That's just way over my budget if I eat here every single day. But the view, it's surreal. Wow. And I had no regrets. After that, we hopped on the tram to cruise around the city. You know those old double-decker trams? Very iconic. You get a proper feel of the streets, the signs, the tempo of the city. At that point, it wasn't even about the destination. I just wanted to sit and watch the views around me. Then we took another train back to the hotel. I just zone out. Needed to rest up because the next day, we're heading to Macau. We started our trip by taking the bus across the Hong Kong to Macau Bridge, aka HZMB. It's one of the longest sea crossing bridges in the world, like 55 kilometers long. Alright, boys, gonna take the B5 bus right there. The bus ride was pretty alright as well, like 65 Hong Kong dollars. That's around like 10 Australian dollars for a 45-minute scenic cruise over the sea. The craziest part, they switched driving sides when we were about to cross the bridge. Hong Kong and Macau both drive on the left, and the mainland China drives on the right, and most of the bridge will be on the mainland side. As you head toward the border, the road suddenly turns in the opposite direction with the lanes curving and the shifting sides when you enter the bridge. It's surreal, like watching reality glitch. Wow. After we arrived in Macau, I tried to find a bus, but apparently they don't have any buses straight to my hotel. There's no Uber in Macau. I still don't know why they don't have Uber in there. I still had to take a taxi to the hotel. Then we had some lunch. Ended up at this spot near my hotel, a Sichuan-style restaurant called Fu Mun Lua Chia. Yeah, I think that's the name. Yeah, I didn't plan on fighting for my life at lunch, but here we are. I ordered Chongqing spicy chicken, aka a whole battlefield of dry chilies. Nice. And a side dish over there? Stir-fried soybean sprouts. A little vinegary, a little spicy, kind of like a palate cleanser if your palate's into masochism. Please don't tell anyone about my fetish because that's a bit embarrassing. And of course, you're in Macau. You gotta explore the casinos. Oh my god! Hit up 5 of the casinos back to back. Alright, let me just grab this thing and I'll just talk straight to you, baby. Alright, let's go. I went to Galaxy, Wynn, Venetian, Lisbon, and MGM. Couldn't feel much inside because, well, Macau's casino policies are tighter than my monthly budget, but let me take you on the emotional roller coaster. Picture this: 5 casinos, 1 broke boy, and the slow unraveling of whatever dignity I have left. First stop, Galaxy Macau. When I say Galaxy, I mean this place is its own goddamn planet. This place, not just a casino, it's a whole alternate reality. Fountains dancing in slow-mo, gold ceilings that look like they were blessed by the guts of death, and the air smells like wealth. I walked in like I had business being there, which I didn't. But you know what? I still hit the tables. Gamble a little bit on blackjack, nothing too crazy. Cards flying, chips clacking, everybody gets serious like it's kakegurui. Luckily, I won a bit. The soundtrack in my head, straight up from Ocean 11. I felt invisible.
Nothing hurts, Chow. I am invisible. It's
Then I went to Win.
Anita Max win.
And then suddenly, the energy changed. Yes, the limits are way higher in Win. It's a no-brainer. Talking about $200 per hand. Minimum. Place a small bet, and I got knocked out 3 times in a row. Fuck. Then came the Venetian. Oh my god. This place is a fever dream. Fake skies, gondolas indoors, classical music echoing through the halls like I'm in a mafia wedding flashback. The casino floor was massive. Endless tables. Thousands of people. Holy shit. I joined a blackjack table and the dealer didn't even smile at once. Just slapped cards like he was dealing pain. Bro, I swear to God. Like, every time I got a face card, he pulled an either push or a 21 like it was scripted. It seems like the house had a vendetta against me, but hey, at least I get a free water. Then there was Lisboa. Old money vibes. Everything felt dimmer, smokier, and heavier. I swear I could smell nostalgia and unspoken trauma in the carpets. Eventually, I joined a baccarat table. Auntie next to me slammed $10,000 like it was spare change. I'm too poor for that. Holy shit. Finally, the MGM. Goal lines at the front like they're guarding the gates to both luxury and financial ruin. By this point, I wasn't even nervous. I was one with the chaos. One last baccarat table. One last bet. I thought I might walk out empty-handed, but somehow I landed in this alternate reality where I actually won. I'm still confused. The math isn't mathing. Like, what? But I'll take it. Thank you for the parting gift, MGM. I appreciate it. Woo! Yeah, baby! After those chaotic sessions, I decided to head out and wandered around the city. Took the bus going somewhere I didn't even know. I just got on and hoped for the best. Such a weird contrast. On one side, you've got these shiny, high-end casinos dripping LED flex, and right next to them, these old, worn-down apartment blocks, laundry hanging outside, paint peeling, windows cracked open like they're breathing. Brutalish type shit. It's like 2 realities smacked together. Chaotic capitalism and everyday life just vibing side by side. And weirdly enough, it's hauntingly beautiful. And speaking of beautiful, you know I had to try the legendary egg tart. You're in Macau, of course you gotta try that. I found this little bakery tucked between 2 convenience stores. The tarts were so warm, golden on top, flaky on the bottom, and also buttery in all the right ways. You bite into one and the custard just smells like So I bought not only 1, but 2 tarts.
Let's try this out, eh?
Lucky I might have had 3, maybe 4. Then after enjoying the sunset vibes, I figured it's time to head back to the hotel, wind down a little bit. So I flagged the taxi. Things almost went smoothly. Almost. Again. I showed him the address and the driver nodded confidently like he knew exactly where to go. Spoiler alert, he did not. 10 minutes later, he dropped me off at a random intersection that looked nothing like where I came from. And by the time I realized, he was already gone. I was trying to figure out where the hell I was. That ended up being one of the nicest parts of the trip.
I'm having a walk for myself, cruising around in Macau.
I went for a stroll in the morning just to breathe a little, and there's something about Macau in the early hours. This city somehow feels normal. Just regular people trying to get through the day like it's average Tuesday for them. It's oddly grounding to see how the nights and days are different in Macau. We went to the Venetian again, and most of the shops were still closed. It was a bit too early for the luxury retail therapy, I guess. But of course, the casino was already wide awake. So I skipped the temptation and went straight to find breakfast instead. Priorities. I had this one interesting dish, and it wasn't even on my radar at first. I asked the waiter what they recommended, and without skipping a beat, he just pointed at it like, BAM! I was like, okay, we'll take that. It's a fried rice with assorted seafood and loofah melon, some prawns, squid, little mushroom bits, all covered in glossy sauce. All I can say is very interesting. The loofah melon's soft. It's kind of delicate, almost like zucchini, but silkier. It's not a flavor bomb, but more of a texture thing. Would I crave it again? Maybe not, but it's one of those meals that makes you pause and go, oh, that's different. And sometimes it's just enough for me. After that, we continued our stroll around the Venetian, and man, this place is built to make you forget what time it is. Usually this place would be swarming with tourists snapping 100 photos every few steps. But since it was still early, most of the shops were shut and the whole space felt empty. As you cruise to another part of the Chotai strip, the scenery shifts like you're flicking through the postcards. You've got a replica Eiffel Tower just casually sitting there like it owns the street, the kind of thing that makes you blink twice to make sure you're not hallucinating. I believe that place was called the Parisian? Yeah. It's basically Macau's take on, well, Paris, if Paris were built around a casino, and the entire area is adorned with French-inspired architecture, featuring ornate balconies, golden statues, and some over-the-top fountains that feel straight out of a Parisian fantasy. Then suddenly I found Charles Leclerc. Charles, my beloved, just casually standing there on giant end like he owns the entire building. I can't help but be that one kid who shouted, "Leclerc!" Then you walk a little further down and suddenly you're in fake London. Red phone booths lining the walkway, what looks like the entrance to the tube, and a full-on replica of the Palace of Westminster just casually vibing in Macau. After that, it was time to wrap things up and head back to Hong Kong. Bittersweet, really. I'd gotten used to the chaos, all the glams and noise, the accidental detours, the actards. Macau is pretty weird and overstimulating in the best way possible. I made my way to the ferry terminal and had some chicken rice before leaving and ready to take my ride back across the water. You're in Hong Kong, baby! Back to the bustling city we go. I went straight to the boutique hotel called Page 148, located in the Sim Shui, which is tucked away between the busy streets, but easily accessible. The check-in was quick, and the place had this clean, calming vibe. And when I got into the room, well, of course, it was spa. Yeah, of course. I'm so surprised by how compact the hotels are in Hong Kong. Like, it really makes you reflect on how little space you actually need to survive, but everything was neatly arranged. You've got everything you need here. You've got your bed, your desk, your bathroom, all neatly packed into this one room like a bento box. But hey, if it works, it works. Then we headed out for another walk just to soak in a bit more of the city. And then I stumbled upon a Muji. Not just any Muji, a Muji cafe. Bro, I didn't know Muji had cafes. What? I thought they only sell outfits or some minimalist home goods, but holy shit, they actually do more than that. Had a beer and some orange juice. Weird combo. I know, but trust me, it worked. Can't believe I drank more beer on this trip than I usually do in the whole year. Then came with the beef brisket with potatoes, and honestly, way better than I expected for a Muji cafe. It was super tender and like melt in your mouth kind of tender, and the potatoes soaked up all the savory goodness like they were born to be there. Remember how I won some money from that chaotic casino session? Well, it's finally time to put it into good use. So here I am, indulging myself once again at the Ritz-Carlton. Again! So, it's the last day. I decided to head up to Victoria Peak, and let me tell you, I think I went at the perfect time. Barely any crowds, no screaming tourists, no one blocking the view with their iPads, and it was just me. So Victoria Peak is the highest point of Hong Kong Island. It's kind of the iconic lookout where people go up there for the postcard skyline view of the whole city. And yeah, it lived up to the hype 100%. The view was unreal.
I gotta tell you, it was perfect. Perfect.
Like you're staring at this concrete jungle where skyscrapers are packed tighter than my suitcase on this trip. I stood there for a good while just taking it in. Oh wait, shit, wrong city. But still, Hong Kong kind of gives the same energy. Just more dumplings and less hot dog. After soaking in the view, I went down and treated myself to a matcha from Percent Arabica. Had a matcha latte and sat by the window reflecting on life like a minimalist commercial. You know, the type to just vibes and glass walls. It was bittersweet knowing this trip's almost over, but feeling really full emotionally and also literally from the matcha. And just like that, it's time to go. Back at the airport again, but this time I'm not rushing around looking for toilets. I'm actually early. Dropped off my bags, got through security, and suddenly it hit me. This trip's actually over. Hong Kong felt like a fever dream in the best way. Fast, chaotic, emotional, loud, delicious, confusing, beautiful even. Like dating someone out of your league for 9 days straight. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you enjoy and subscribe if you're new. So yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.